Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to RedMug Music. I'm Brian. I'm glad you could be with me today. And today we're going to rediscover Duran Duran's classic album, 7 and the Ragged Tiger. I've been looking forward to this one because this is one of the originals. This is pretty much the album that I started paying very close attention to Duran Duran. You know, because of my age, I wasn't really paying attention to a lot of music. But by the time the Reflex and New Moon on Monday came out, I was ready to listen. And then by the time Arena came out, I was buying records. So this is going to be exciting. So let's do it. You know, this particular album, it came on the heels of the major success of Rio. So I think by this time they were, you know, Duran Duran were cocky. They were on top of the world. They were, you know, they were invincible. They can do whatever they wanted to. But I'm sure there were some pressures that came along with, you know, following up an album like Rio. But, you know, I think they did a really good job. And today what I want to do is go through these songs and talk about what I hear and just tell you what I think. And I think it'll be fun. So just, you know, a little bit of information about 7 and the Ragged Tiger. Actually, I've got it right here. After buying Arena when I was young, I went back and started buying all the other records. And here's 7 and the Ragged Tiger. And the problem with this particular album is it's pretty much not playable. If you look at the record, actually, let's pull it out here. You're not gonna be able to see this. Well, maybe you can. Let's see. Can you see scratches on there? How about that side? Maybe. I'm not sure if you can see them or not, but there's so many scratches. It's just unplayable. I mean, there's terrible smudges. I don't know what I did. You know, I was a kid. I was careless. But I would like to eventually replace this if I can. But actually, I'm going to use the sleeve to keep up with the songs. So let's do this. All right. Now, this is, you know, the thing about it is when, you know, back in the 80s when we were buying records and records was just kind of a normal way of listening to music, they always came with the sleeve. Actually, here it is. And usually, if you were lucky, the sleeve came with all the lyrics. And I'm not very much of a lyrical person. I don't really pay attention to lyrics. But back then, if it had lyrics, I learned them all. So I could sing this entire album from heart because I had notes. So before we get started, if you haven't done it yet, or if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and click the bell so you can get notifications whenever a new video comes out. That is the best and almost one of the only ways you can really support YouTubers is just by subscribing. If we don't get subscribers, then we don't go anywhere and the channel dies. So I would like, if you could, go ahead and subscribe. And also make sure you stay tuned till the end because I want to play a little bit of music from a band called Bittersweet Machines. I've talked about them before. And this guy, Matt, he does really good work. He does all the music himself and he sings himself. And he does a couple of Duran Duran covers. And I feel like, you know, since you're watching this for the Duran Duran content, maybe that's what I'll share. So stay tuned to the end and I'll let you hear that. And if you like it, I'll let you know where to go find it if you want to download some of the music yourself. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, the first song on the album is called The Reflex. I'm going to go purely from notes here, but these are my thoughts, my ideas, everything that I was thinking when I was listening to the music. The Reflex, this is absolutely a beautiful start to this record. Now, you know, the starting song and transitioning and you know, segues and the ending song and just all that stuff really matters to me because that's what makes a great album. So I think this is a really good start, but it also shows that Duran Duran has this ability to, all the members have the ability to play off of each other. You know, they have become seasoned and very good musicians. I mean, when John or Nigel and Nick Rhodes started Duran Duran, I don't think they knew how to play instruments at all. And they just wanted to be in a band. So the fact that they went from not knowing how to play to listen to the beginning of the beginning of the Reflex, and you'll hear all the different instruments and how they work together. Good songwriting abilities and good musicianship and just good chemistry. So I think the Reflex is a really good indicator on how good of a band they've become. And Simon's voice is so confident. It's a very good sound. But again, this is one of the best songs I think they recorded. So the pre-chorus where they say, "So why don't you use it? Try not to bruise it. Buy time, don't lose it." The vibrato, if that's what that's called, the why. I think that was such a bold move, and it's almost shocking that they would do something like that. But Duran Duran does tend to put on the record some pretty bold singing styles. So I think this is definitely no different from the rest, but I think it worked so well. And like I always say, I like the contrast that Duran Duran has between the verses and the chorus, because no matter what the verse sounds like, they go into this beautiful melodic chorus. Now this one, the "Why don't you use it?" that's kind of like a pre-chorus, and then it goes into the chorus, and I just think that contrast is beautiful, and it's really nice. I like that sound, and that's probably one of the reasons why I think this is one of their better recorded songs, because there's so many different parts to the Reflex, and it all works together so well. But what catches my attention the most on the Reflex, and if you haven't listened to it, go back and listen, the bass is terrific. John Taylor, and the way he plays bass, he is so active, and he's got a very specific part in this. And I think without this bass, I don't know if the Reflex would be as good. It just gives it so much attitude and so much character. I love it. So off to a good start with song number 1 with the Reflex. Okay, song number 2 is going to be New Moon on Monday. This one catches my attention through basically the singing, Simon singing, because he starts, he's got that low voice, and he just kind of builds on that, and just he might go down a little bit, but just keeps going up and higher and higher and higher and bolder and louder and more confident, all the way until the bum 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 new, and it's just well done. And when it goes to this anthemic chorus, it's a great anthem, and it's really fun to sing. And I find most of this album is really fun to sing, but I mostly notice, I think it's a very Nick heavy song, and Simon's vocals. It's a really good song. I remember when it first came out, back when I was much younger, I wasn't so sold on it. I was more like, the Reflex, and then going into the Wild Boys and things like that. But it's a really good song. All right, song number 3 is called Cracks, or actually it's called I'm Looking For Cracks in the Pavement. I remember this being one of the couple that I didn't really appreciate when it first came out, and I would skip over it. There's lots of keyboards, but I think this is a very Prince sounding song. A lot of the sounds, I hear Prince in it in a lot of places. It's got a very nice chorus and really good harmony. I find the bridge to be a little weird, but then you have Andy's solo, and then you have John's bass. It's kind of accenting, or kind of around this, Andy's guitar. I think this is a really good song, and I actually think it's an underrated track. I think maybe this is one of the songs that people think this album's not so good, but I think it's a good song. I think it's a really good song. So, Cracks in the Pavement, really good. I Take the Dice, song number 4. This one, I never really understood exactly what they were doing. I'm sure I could probably look it up, but it's, again, this is very keyboard heavy song. Again, I think this is a very good Simon Le Bon vocal song. I think maybe the music could be a little thin. I know there's a lot of Andy, his guitar in this, but I think maybe if they could have filled a lot of the gaps with a grittier guitar, something a little bit more rock, I don't know. I don't think that's the sound they were going for, and I think maybe that's why it has this a little bit of a thin sound to me. And maybe this could just be fixed through remastering, and that's possible. And I'd like to hear that, but actually, it may be remastered. Let me look. Well, I'm looking at the album. No, it is remastered. So that's not going to help it. It was remastered in 2010, according to Apple Music. So I don't think it's going to help it. I think it just needed something else, something just more keyboards, or just, like I said, like a grittier guitar in there. I think it would have made it sound a little bit better. But I still like the song. I Take the Dice is a really good song. But it's definitely the weakest so far. Now, speaking of rock songs of crime and passion, here comes the guitars. Here it is. This song, I think it's another very underrated song, and I think this is like a pre-Power Station song for John and Andy. I love this song. It's a rock song through and through. I should put together a list of, like, Duran Duran's top 5 hardest rock songs out there, and this would definitely make it, I think. Comment down below. Let's make a list of what songs Duran Duran does throughout their whole career, B-side or outtakes or bonus songs, whatever. Just name what you think is their heaviest hard rock song, and we'll compile a list, and I'll make another video and we'll go over those. I think that'll be fun. So, but Crime and Passion, it's a really, really good song. And Simon Le Bon's voice, I love that real why. I mean, I'm not a singer. Did you let me? It's so good and so deep, and I don't know. It's a very special song. I think it's really good. All right, track number 6, another release that everybody knows, Union of the Snake. This is, my note here says, this is what Duran Duran songs sound like with Andy Taylor. This is the influence of Andy Taylor, and he fills those measures with chords that, you can, it's this very Andy Taylor-ish. And they go from the pre-chorus to the main chorus, giving the song like more dimension. And we've mentioned that already on this video. We have these pre-choruses that go into a chorus, and there's a really nice contrast, or just gives it a lot more depth and a lot more dimension. I think Union of the Snake is one of those really good songs. I don't have to tell you about Union of the Snake. It's a really good song. But I'm not a big fan of the saxophone, never have been. But I think their usage in this of the saxophone is well done. Actually, I think it's perfect. The saxophone was perfect for this song. And it was perfect for the era. During the 80s, there was a lot of saxophone. If you go back and, I remember MTV, and it just seems like a lot of these songs had saxophone. I mean, it was the hotness during the 80s. It was a very sexy instrument, and people really liked hearing it. But not so much now. Okay, song number 7 is called Shadows on Your Side. This is where my first complaint is. I love the drum fill intro. I think that's really nice. I like that a lot. I always like listening to Duran Duran songs where we got a nice organic drum sound, which, during this time we definitely did. But it goes into the first verse. And if you don't recall, I wish I could play music on here, but if I played music, Duran Duran, the record company, would block it just like that. You would never see, these videos would never see the light of day if I played even like that much of their music. They just don't allow it. Oh, shackled and raised for a shining crowd. They want you to speak. The music is louder than all of their roar with the heat of the planet's core. And then it goes into the chorus. I think that's too soon. I think it needs to go to the next verse. And I think they should do that verse, and then the next verse, and then the chorus. I think that would have sounded much better. It sounds like it's gone into the chorus too soon. I think there's a time in the song where they do 2 verses in a row and then the chorus, and it sounds right. But then I think it's after the bridge, they do another verse and then go directly into the chorus. But at that point, it sounds right to me. I almost fell off my chair. That part sounds right. It sounds like I like that rushing to get back into the chorus. But at the beginning of the song, I have never, it always throws me out of the enjoyment of the song. It starts off and, he sings and the singing's good. The verses are good. The lyrics are good. The song, the song in general is good, but I just don't like how we go to that chorus so fast. I mean, it's like within 30 seconds? 30 seconds within the song, you're already in the chorus. And I know sometimes songs start in the chorus, which can be hit or miss. But and then we have song number 8, which is Tiger, Tiger. I love that video I was watching just the other day. And at the beginning of it, it's the beginning of the concert. They're just playing the instrumental Tiger, Tiger. And it's just such a great start to a concert. I like doing that a lot. This I think, is a very beautiful instrumental, and it's one of my favorite instrumentals. It's so peaceful and so calming, with John Taylor's fretless bass. And the funny thing about it almost takes me to Arcadia, even though John Taylor wasn't in Arcadia, but there are fretless basses in Arcadia as well. But it just kind of gives me that feel, and a little bit more of a haunting, darker, but very calming, very smooth song. So if an album, especially if an album with 9 songs, is going to have an instrumental, it better be a good instrumental, and it is. And the last song is called The Seventh Stranger. Now, The Seventh Stranger actually started out being called Seven and the Ragged Tiger. There was supposed to be a song called Seven and the Ragged Tiger, and it just kind of morphed into The Seventh Stranger, which is so good. The first time I ever heard The Seventh Stranger was actually on Arena, which I think I prefer the Arena version, maybe just because I heard it first. But following up Tiger, Tiger with The Seventh Stranger, I think is very artistic, and I think it's very well done, especially now that you're going into the very last song on the album. I think it's really good. I like this sort of thing. And, I see The Seventh Stranger and The Chauffeur. I kind of group them in the same group. I think these two songs are very good indicators that Duran Duran is not just a boy band. That's not all they are. They're not just, out there just, putting dance hits together and being pretty and all that good stuff. They're making very good music, and Seventh Stranger is definitely in that category. It's such a good song. And go through these lyrics, and if you look at the lyrics, I don't know if you could see it on here. Look at this. See how thick this, just how much, look at this song here. Just not so much. The Seventh Stranger is very lyrically full song, but it's just those words are all remainders that goes growing in the heart of twilight. They lay back laughing at naivety's star, awaken all those whispers, the dusty shadow of a passing favor. This is Simon Le Bon at his absolute best writing music. This is beautiful. And this is how the album ends. So great beginning, great songs. It's only 9 songs, which I love, a 9-track song or 9-track album. And actually I was going to look and see how long the album was altogether. Altogether, it's just 38 minutes. It's a 38-minute record. It makes me wonder, actually. I wonder why they didn't put maybe Secret October. I wonder why they didn't add Secret October in there. It does have a little bit of a different sound, but so does Seventh Stranger. And so does Tiger, Tiger. Those were different. So, I don't know. I think maybe they could have squeezed that one in there and it would have been okay. It would have been a little bit, because 38 minutes is a smidge too short, but it's okay. But I think this is a great album. I love the short albums. I like the albums that they have a specific idea and they kind of follow that idea. And I think they killed it. This is a very, very good album. A lot of people don't like it because of songs like Cracks in the Pavement, I Take the Dice, Of Crime of Passion, Shadows on Your Side. I think those extra songs that weren't released, and not including Seventh Stranger, I think people just aren't really into them, but I think they're really, really good songs. Great album. If you haven't listened to it in a while, you should pull it off the shelf, dust it off, and just take a listen, and put the record on and just enjoy it. I think you'll definitely enjoy yourself. Listen to this video and then listen to the album. And in that case, what you do, you start looking for stuff. I'm looking for the bass and the Reflex, and I'm looking for Nick's keyboards, or I'm waiting for that drum intro, by Roger, or I'm listening to the moodiness of Simon, his voice, and all of it really. Or, the transitioning between Tiger Tiger and the Seventh Stranger. This stuff matters. When it comes to good albums, this stuff matters. It matters to me. It should matter to everybody. That stuff matters to me. I like the entire album from beginning to end. Well, anyway, that's it. That's my thoughts. That's my ideas. That's me listening to Seven and the Ragged Tiger and letting you know what I think. And comment down below. Tell me where Seven and the Ragged Tiger falls on your rankings for Duran Duran. If you have rankings, let me know if it's in your top 5, bottom 5, somewhere in the middle, and we'll just start that discussion. Now, Bittersweet Machines. This is a band. Again, this is a guy named Matt. I'll put his information down in the description down below. But he just records his own stuff. He's definitely a Duran Duran fan. I'm looking up his stuff right now. But he has this band called Bittersweet Machines. And I want to play just a little bit of it right now. And let's listen to it. Frozen crystal in the morning, birth time rose, a thorn for coronation. This particular song is Winter Marches On from the Notorious album. I did ask him if he had anything from Seven and the Ragged Tiger, and he said no. I think he said he wanted to maybe do a Crime of Passion, but just never had the chance to do that. I think it would sound really good. But Matt has a really good ear to recreate this music completely and put his spin on it, and it sounds good. His ear for what this stuff should sound like is really good. I very much enjoy Matt's music, but a lot of this content, on these records that he makes, or these albums that he makes, is all original stuff. It does a couple of covers, but I'm just going to play the Duran Duran cover since we're talking about Duran Duran. But it's good stuff. It's good stuff, Matt. So, but if you're interested, I'll put his information in the description down below. You can go, and he's got quite a few records. Actually, he's got, looks like he has 10 records that he has recorded. So if you find that you're liking some of this stuff, you have a lot of music to listen to. So he'll allow you. So you can go to this site. It's on Bandcamp, and you can go in and pay what you want to for these, for a digital album, for from $1 up. I would recommend paying what you can. Let's support these artists as much as we can, and just comment down below if you were able to download some of his music and tell me what you think. I think it's good. Well, anyway, so that's it for this week. Check me out on Instagram at RedMug Music. I'm on Twitter at RedMug Music. I no longer have a website. It just seemed to be a little too much, and it's really not needed. With Instagram and all these other ways to get your content out there, there's no point. Basically, it was just presenting videos from YouTube. Why would you do that? So don't worry about redmugmusic.com. But that's it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all next week.